Steven Stepalevich. I'm saying your name right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So, let me pull up the questions real quick. I'm gonna cut some of it out, obviously when we're like you said, when you're paused or whatever. But
Yeah.
Steven, for the people that don't know, where are you from? What do you do? I forgot actually where you were even from. Like I remember you said Colorado.
Yeah.
Was
Well, I'm from Philadelphia, but I'm out in Colorado. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, explain to the people what you do, and yeah, where you're from. Oh, you already said Philly.
Yeah. So I'm from Philadelphia. I currently live in Boulder, which is a town right outside of Denver. Recently moved here. I own two companies. So I own flooring and concrete SEO. You can probably guess what we do based on that company title. And then I own another company now, which I recently started called CH Growth Partners. So we grow and scale with partnerships or through partnerships with software development custom companies. So any company that builds apps, websites, custom solutions for any industry, we work with them too.
For sure. Yeah, and we're gonna dive into that too. So you used Inframail for a while now, and I actually used you in one of my ads. I mentioned that, and you doubled your MRR in 60 days. I remember you came on a call and you're like, dude, like I've had the most money I've saved in my life. I use that even in my copy and stuff when I write. So how was your experience? Like, what was that experience like doubling your MRR? How did that happen?
Yeah, so it all started when you approached me on the DMs and you're like, I can build out this whole system that sends a shitload of emails for like nothing every single month. Like it costs money, obviously, but like a very, very cheap price. And I was like, okay, cool, set it up. So I did it. And that was actually like the first time I got into cold email. Like I had never done it before then. I did it at, I worked at another company where I did do it. But besides that, I had never done it for myself. So I did that, got on Inframail, who's the provider, and then downloaded instantly too. And right off the bat, like I waited 2 weeks, warm up, and then I just started blasting out emails. So the thing that like I really like about Inframail too is that like you can have unlimited accounts, which I think is really cool. So I had a crap load of accounts. I think I had like 75, and all of them were sending like anywhere from I started at 10, but it got up to 30. So like every week I would increase it by 10 because that's what you're supposed to do, max out at like 30, 35 emails. Um and like the calls just like I couldn't like the deliverability was really good, which is obviously the most important part of any provider. It's why you pick whatever provider you pick. So I booked more calls than I have in my entire life because before I was just using Facebook DMs. So you introducing me to email, and on top of that, Inframail kind of facilitating that is the reason I have more than doubled my MRR since then. Because the last time we spoke, I doubled my revenue. I'm not going to say what it is publicly, but I did double it, and then now to this point, I've basically we're close to have doubled that too. So
Wow.
we've made a lot of progress very fast. But yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I remember you when we got on the call, you said like you started booking 6 to 10 demos a week. I don't know if it went higher after that or anything like that, but like how did you do that? Like what was that process like? People can't really book appointments like that. So yeah, what was the secret sauce?
So this is actually great to talk about because this is also like what we sell as CH Growth Partner. Like one of the main things that we do for our customers is organic outbound with LinkedIn and email. So, I mean, the basic structure to email, we do it a little bit differently, but if you're going to go like the direct method, which is what I did when I had flooring and concrete SEO, and I was actually more so in the day to day of it than I am now. Really, personalization is key. So when you're downloading the lead list, if you can have a first name or a company name in there, that's going to be very, very important. But the basic structure of it is the intro, some sort of value proposition, and then the call to action. So mine, and then if you want to add too, if you have experience, like add a case study at the end, like PS, we did this for, we did XYZ for this client. So it's going to be tough for me to remember my exact copy right off the bat, but I'm pretty sure that I would just say something like, hey, Bob, I don't know if you're willing to or able to take on more jobs now, but we guarantee X amount of jobs in X amount of days, or we guarantee our offer was $50,000 in 90 days in new revenue. So that's a powerful offer. So the offer, honestly, is the most important component of it. So I have that being sent out to 3,000 people a day. So it was like pretty like even if you suck at emailing, like you're gonna get a lot of calls from that. I don't suck, luckily. So yeah, man. And it just changed everything because, like, obviously, if you don't have calls on the calendar, you don't have money coming in because you don't have anyone in your sales process. So, like, one of the big things for us as CH Growth Partner is like, if a client says to us, we have too many calls, like, I don't care. I'm not turning it off because I want to at least fill the pipeline a lot. So that's the key to growing your revenue in any company is sales and pipeline revenue. So that definitely was a kicker is like the good offer and then just being consistent with it and high volume as well.
Yeah, that's 100% true. A lot of people I know like they turn their outreach off, which I never understood. You know,
Yeah, I know.
yeah. And I mean, you got coaching from Joel Kaplan, so I'm sure he drills that in for everybody. And it's like a known thing. And I would say, that basically your secret sauce wasn't anything crazy. You were just following the rules and keeping everything short. One thing is like people, I would say if I was to estimate or guesstimate, whatever, I would say like 75% of people write the copy incorrectly, which is unfortunate because there's so much content out there, coaching instantly, YouTube, Inframail, free course, a bunch of, forget me, like there's so many things out there that teach you how to do it properly, which you just followed everything, with discipline and it worked.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the direct method. So to be honest with you, it depends on the industry that you're in. Like if you're in, like for example, if you're in like an SMMA classic industry, that's specifically like local service businesses, chiropractors, contractors, like I was working with,
Yeah.
you don't have to get fancy with it. Like it literally is just the offer. Whereas if you're going after, because typically people in the local service industry are very simple. They don't want, like, they don't need some fancy copywritten. They don't need some fancy sales process to take them through. If you're going after like bigger companies, which is like what I do now and what we do for our customers here, you have to go like a little bit of a different method. Like rather than just an offer, I would offer a lead magnet. That's one suggestion. I always lead with value. That's something I think that everyone can take away a lot.
Yeah.
So like, for example, like this is, to be honest, this is like very valuable information, probably the most valuable thing I'm going to say on this whole call today. But like, for example, one thing that we do is we offer like a free keynote for companies. So we'll just offer them to just a presentation on how to grow their sales. And we basically walk them through, like we give them everything that we do for free, but we tell them and we give it in the presentation. But like, that's like one example. So just like different lead magnets, leading with value. That's what I would go with if you're in the higher like ticket B2B space, like basically tech, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
that's the big one. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fire. And I mean, you switched niches because you were in flooring and concrete before. You went to custom software development, like you told me before the
Yeah.
call. So tell us like why you did that. What was that switch?
So I have had flooring and concrete SEO since March of 2023. So it's been like about a year and I think 4 months. So that was the first company that I started that was actually successful. Like that's where I actually started making a little bit more money. And then that business was smooth sailing. And then come March 2024, yeah, March 2024, it was a year long. I mean, we got like 15 customers on board at this point, and probably actually might be a little more than that. And like, I'm out of the day to day. Like I said, like I don't really manage much in it. Like I talk to some of my customers every now and then, mostly the ones that I actually sold. Now I have salesmen. I have one closer there who works for me, and then I have people to fulfill customer experience. Like everything's being done for me, so I'm not really in it that much. And it put me in a comfortable position where I'm like, okay, I'm making like a decent amount now, but like I want to start selling a little bit higher ticket and I want to start selling to people that are a little bit more business savvy. So tech, obviously that's always a growing industry
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
of the time. So I found custom software development. I realized that these companies, what even makes them more valuable is that they're working at a higher level of business. Like they care, for example, about enterprise value, which is something that I now care about in my business as I've grown as like a business person. And these guys, what's amazing is they're selling nationally and they're selling internationally. So the TAM is huge. Like
Yeah.
if you're running Google ads in like Houston, big city, but there's only so much market share there. With custom software development, it's $1 billion industry. You have huge TAMs, especially for some of the companies that I've seen where they'll make software for everything, like financial services, manufacturing, automotive. Like if you're making custom software solutions for every industry, your TAM is basically unlimited.
Yeah.
So if I can help those companies grow and scale, which is what we do through specifically email outbound and LinkedIn outbound and sales enablement and a lot more that we offer too, um, then that is going to be a lot more beneficial for me, but also a lot more beneficial for them. So like full transparency, like we take a percentage of what we make them. So we're very motivated by their success and their growth. So I just saw a lot more potential in this industry. I think it's growing way faster too than flooring and concrete is, even though that's also growing. So really it was the potential. And then also my experience. I worked at Oracle before, so I kind of know a little bit about software development in general, but
That's dope.
yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's a definitely like I would say not something you can break into like very easily. But if you have some experience and stuff like that, and like you said, you automated your business, that's the best part. And enterprise value is by far the most important. When I realized that, like our software being sellable, that's all I cared about. After someone told me that, he just told me like to put certain things in place to make it sellable. That's what I care about doing now. Just to have everything in place, which is dope. So enterprise value is much more important to me than just like picking up that cash. Agency is much more cash flow heavy, but the SaaS, the exit would be pretty dope. It's like a huge chunk of cash. So what do you think is the most important part about running a successful cold email campaign? If you were to pick one element.
If I could only pick one, I would definitely say relevance. So most people would say personalization. Like most people think that, I talked a little bit about that before, even like people think putting the first name and the company name and even like a state or a city is like enough. And it's good, like that's important. Don't get me wrong, definitely should put that there if you have that information. But it's honestly the relevancy. So like an example of that is if you take like a custom software development company like we help, and like so when you have an email campaign, it has to be super targeted, and that's what makes it relevant. So if I'm helping a custom software development company and they serve companies that are anywhere from 11 to 100 in their headcount, and they need to reach a different decision maker. Well, the thing is that the CTO of a company with 15 employees in Dubai has completely different problems than the IT director of a company with 80 employees in the USA. Yeah. So when you make that distinguishment, then you know that they have different problems. And by knowing they have different problems, you can make the copy more relevant to them. That's the key needle mover, honestly. When I like figured that out and it like really clicked for me, my positive reply rate like doubled, literally. So it's like when you just make it more relevant to the person you're sending it to and it resonates with them more, they're more likely to reply. I've only ever replied to one cold email, and I don't even remember what it was about. It was some other email software, but I actually got on a call. I didn't buy, but and the only reason I did that is because it was relevant to who I am and my problems I'm dealing with on a daily basis with emails. Yeah. So relevancy, number one thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think what you said about like the head count, even like when someone has a certain amount of employees versus 80 employees, it's a different thing. So even if they're in the same industry, you can't like just pick an industry and then start blasting emails. You have to segment in some way, organize in some way. And what do you think makes people unsuccessful? Because being in this game, unfortunately, a lot more people are unsuccessful than successful, which sucks. I wish everyone could make it, but you're not going to make it sometimes. What do you think it is? I think everyone could make it, but what do you think is the biggest like thing about some people not making it?
Yeah, there's a few things. The first thing is not being honestly familiar with the tech. Over my time of like starting cold email, I have never been more educated in my entire life on like these back end systems, the DNS records, and how that is the reason those are so huge and it's important to know about this back end technology with it is because of deliverability. Like that's like nowadays, especially with how strict Google and Outlook are, it's but deliverability is like 90% of the game. Like it's kind of crazy. I think that's one reason people fail. They don't understand that. And then by not understanding that, they then start sending 100 emails with every single account within the first week, and it just messes it all up. That's one factor I think is huge to not being successful. I think the other factor is not testing. So if you do own a marketing agency in any form, and you like don't understand split testing or what basically marketing 101 is, you probably shouldn't. No offense to these people, you can get because you can improve, but probably shouldn't own a marketing agency or be charging for your services yet, because we test so much. Like I test so many angles, like every month. We do the same for the partners, like because really the game of marketing, the way I see it, it's like really simple. Like you find something that works and then you double down on it in some way. Now, that doesn't mean duplicating it completely and just like you think you're going to double your revenue by doing that. It just means duplicating it in a way where it's similar to the angle that worked. So when
Yeah.
you're emailing, there's different marketing angles to come from. There's different problems you can talk about. You have to test it. And most people don't do that. Most people are sending one singular email and blasting it out to a list. And that's what most agencies are doing for not only their own client acquisition, but their clients' client acquisition. So testing is huge. If you're not testing, that's another thing that definitely leads to a failure. And then the third factor, I don't really know. I can't really think of a third factor right now. If I think of one, I'll definitely bring it up. But yeah,
For
those
sure.
two things.
Okay. And what would you say helped you the most when, when you're to get to this spot that you're in with two companies, one automated fully? What helped you?
Definitely for me, it was like it's such a cliche answer, but it's honestly investing in myself. I have spent like tens of thousands on coaching and mentorship programs, and I'm not going to disclose which one I'm in right now, but the one I'm in right now is the best one I've ever been in. The other ones, to be honest with you, I basically lost money on them pretty much, or most of them at least. And it was just like, but not just the coaching programs, because obviously you have to apply whatever they're teaching you, but it was my consistency overall. So like obviously it depends on your finances, but for me personally, like if one coaching program didn't work, I did invest in another. Now I had like cash flow coming in, so I could do that. So don't do that if you don't. But I just kept trying new things. I kept investing in myself and trying to figure out what the best program or the best method that program teaches was going to be for me. I found it. Now that's for me, but the bigger picture of kind of like that little story there is just being consistent. Again, it's a very cliche answer, but like the first 2.5 or 3 years of me being an entrepreneur, I lost so much money. I lost so much time. Um, and Mark Cuban has this quote too: "You only got to be right once." It's 100% right. Like when that flooring and concrete SEO finally started actually working for me, like I got right back into the green, and then it's all been profit since then. So it's like you're gonna get hit, but you just got to keep going. There's some Rocky quote like that. Can't remember it right now, but you guys probably know it. So just being consistent, not giving up, take your punches. It's part of the game. And you will also remember those like really hard times too. Like I look back on them and like, I'm like, damn, like I've come a long way, and you will too if you just keep going. So
Yeah.
definitely consistency.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You gotta the thing that you gotta be consistent in the most that a lot of people overcomplicate it is literally doing outreach. I don't know,
Yeah.
it's like basic, but like literally just send DMs and emails and everything like that every single day over and over again.
Yeah.
So, and I think going back to the thing of like why people are unsuccessful when it comes to being an entrepreneur is they don't want it bad enough. Because I feel like if you do really want something bad enough, you're just gonna do everything that you can to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
100%. So, and then the last thing too I want to say there is not only investing in yourself, but investing in the business. Like at the time with Inframail, like that was like a lot for me. Like at the time, that whole system, and now it's nothing. So investing in yourself, investing in the company, whatever is going to make you more money, just being consistent. But yeah,
fire. And so we do some hot seat questions, but before that, you can let us know really quickly where you see your agency going in the next 6 months revenue wise, because we like to talk money. You don't have to disclose
yeah,
numbers, but like
yeah.
what's it gonna look like for you?
Yeah. So my company CH Growth Partner is it's new. It's new, right? So I'm trying to increase the revenue there, and that because we're making a little bit of money, but not like as much as flooring and concrete because we just started. So, but the thing is that I'm just much like not not trying to brag, but I'm just like I'm much more progressive in terms of my business skill now. I mean, when I first started, obviously it makes sense. It took me 3 years to start making a cent, but now I have better knowledge. So next 6 months, I mean, I'm honestly hoping to take this company to at least 20K a month. That's like really the goal in the next 6 months. And I also want to grow the team as well. So I definitely want to, like, we have one SDR right now. I want to add another SDR. I take all the sales calls. So I want to bring on a closer for that too when I can. Our process is like, it's not complicated. It's just very unique. It's the same type of process that we put into our partners' businesses. So I
Yeah.
want to bring on a closer. I want to train them. But the quickly summarize, I'm looking to take this to 20K MRR in the next 6 months. So
Yeah, you can easily do that. You can easily do that. So we'll do some hot seat questions real quick. So instantly versus smart lead.
um oh shit. Instantly.
All right, soft CTA or hard CTA?
Soft seats, yeah.
Lead magnet or no lead magnet? You've already said it.
Lead magnet.
Spring water or purified water? Now
Spring
I'm
water.
judging you. Okay, okay. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Nice. Beach or mountains?
Mountains. Colorado.
Colorado. All right. Yeah, I mean that's it. I appreciate you coming on, Steven. I mean, we've been boys for a while now, and like it's been
Yeah.
amazing seeing your growth and stuff like that. Like I said, I remember the very first call. Steven is a monster. So if you guys want to follow him, shout yourself out, Steven, on Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want to put out there.
Yeah. Can I shout myself out now? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
of course. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, like I said, my name is Steven Stepalevich. I'm the founder of CH Growth Partner. We partner with B2B software development companies and help them grow and scale by implementing dozens of different marketing and sales systems into their company and essentially becoming an extension of their marketing and sales teams. You can find me on LinkedIn. Look up my name. If you want to find my website, go to chgrowthpartner.com. You can find our VSL on our website and some case studies on there as well. And yeah, that's it.
Fire. Fire. All right, Steven. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you, man.